The old farmhouse loomed in the moonlit night, its time-worn boards creaking in protest against the relentless wind. I stood hesitantly at the threshold, clutching an invitation that had arrived in an unmarked envelope. The embossed letters spelled out a simple message: "Join us for a night you'll never forget." Despite the ominous undertones, curiosity overpowered my apprehension. The allure of mystery beckoned, and I stepped into the darkness within. The air inside was heavy, a mixture of dust and decay that clung to the ancient wallpaper. The dim light of flickering candles barely illuminated the grand hallway, adorned with faded portraits of long-forgotten faces. As I ventured further, the silence was broken only by the distant howling of the wind. A sudden draft extinguished the candles, plunging me into darkness. Panic gripped my chest, but I fumbled for my phone and activated its feeble glow. The hallway seemed to stretch endlessly in both directions, doors lining each side like guardians of untold secrets. The invitation had been vague, yet it guided me to the heart of the house. As I reached the grand staircase, a disembodied voice echoed through the air, whispering my name with an intimacy that sent shivers down my spine. My steps quickened involuntarily, driven by an unseen force. The second floor was a labyrinth of corridors, each turn leading to more uncertainty. The walls seemed to pulse with a strange energy, the house itself alive with a malevolent consciousness. I stumbled upon a room, its door slightly ajar, and the muffled sound of distant laughter emanating from within. Pushing the door open, I found myself in a dimly lit chamber filled with masked figures. They stood in a circle, their faces hidden behind grotesque masks that seemed to leer at me with hollow ease. The air was charged with an unsettling tension, and I realized I had stumbled upon a gathering shrouded in mystery. A figure stepped forward, clad in a tattered cloak that brushed the floor. The mask, a grotesque caricature of a smiling face, turned toward me as if acknowledging my presence. Without a word, the cloaked figure extended a hand, offering an ornate mask identical to the ones worn by the others. "Welcome," the figure intoned, the voice resonating within my mind. "Join the masquerade!" Against my better judgment, I donned the mask, the cool porcelain surface sending a chill across my skin. The room seemed to blur, and the distant laughter transformed into a dissonant symphony that echoed through the corridors of my mind. The masquerade continued, each figure moving with an otherworldly grace. The masks concealed their identities, and the air was thick with an unsettling anticipation. As the night wore on, a sense of dread gnawed at the edges of my consciousness. A clock chimed in the distance, signaling the arrival of midnight. The masked figures converged in a ritualistic dance, their movements synchronized with an eerie precision. I tried to retreat, but an invisible force compelled me to join the macabre performance. The dance reached a crescendo, and the room became a swirling tempest of masked faces and ethereal music. In the midst of the chaos, the cloaked figure approached me once more, its masked gaze fixed upon mine. "Embrace the night, for you are now part of the eternal masquerade," it whispered, the words echoing through the chambers of my soul. The world blurred again, and I found myself standing alone in the empty room. The masks lay scattered on the floor, each one a haunting reminder of the enigmatic ritual I had become entangled in. The grand hallway stretched before me, its darkness beckoning like an abyss. As I stumbled out of the farmhouse, the first light of dawn painted the sky. The air was crisp, and the distant echo of the masquerade lingered in the stillness. The invitation had promised a night I'd never forget, and as I walked away from the haunted farmhouse, I couldn't shake the feeling that the masquerade would forever be etched into the fabric of my nightmares.